Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Alright, so today we are going to continue with lecture 8 on the topic of design economics. So for introduction, as you all know, um, there are certain factors that will determine the success of the project, of the construction project. Okay, it's either the success factor will, of course, will be influenced by the decision made by the parties involved in the construction project, okay, including the clients, consultants, including architect, uh, contractors, and so on. So basically, the client will play a big part, okay, in setting up the vision, mission, and objective of particular project. Because as you all know, clients is the one that will fund the project. Okay, clients will make final decision on certain area of the construction project, okay, including the design, etc. Okay, so basically the success of any construction project can be measured against several different criteria, okay, which can be summarized into three. Okay, the first one is performance. It is the first criteria to determine whether your project can become successful or not. Okay, in terms of performance. Okay, whereby in terms of performance, basically as a client, okay, you will request the especially the architect, okay, to produce some sort like basic plan concept, okay, to show the what we call it the um, the needs of the client will be translated into a design by the architect. Okay, so the client will request in terms of the shape, the appearance, the quality, the function, okay, the durability, and also the maintenance parts. Okay, so basically the client will give the idea, will give the initial idea on what they want to have on their project. Okay, what type of design, shape, for example, and so on. So the architect will translate it, and at the same time, in terms of uh, uh, performance. Okay, so of course nowadays the element of aesthetic must be included in your design. Okay, so indirectly it will influence the performance of your construction project. And of course, the success of your construction project in terms of performance also will be determined on the quality of the finished work. Okay, how you can make sure that your construction project have enough quality. Of course, during the design stage, you need to finalize, or what we call it as detail out the specification that you want to use in terms of the uh, materials, and so on. And of course, the selection of appropriate contractors. Okay, so that if you selected, of course, for example, if you select an experienced contractor, so indirectly you can ensure that you will produce a good quality of work. Okay, so beside selecting an, an experienced contractor, you also need to have good supervision. Okay, good supervision to ensure that you can achieve a quality, uh, a high level of quality of your finished product, okay, or finished work. Alright, so here also, in terms of selection of material, for example, also will play a part in make sure that in ensuring that your project can uh, achieve the maximum level of performance, okay, to be to be to become a successful construction project. Okay, that's the first factor. The second factor is time. Okay, so as you all know, as I think I mentioned a few times, I think in some of my videos also previously, I mentioned that particularly in Malaysia, we quite have problem to find a project that can be completed on time. That's one of our concept. Okay, so because time will determine the successful of your project. So if you, let's say, in the contract period it's stated that your project will be completed within 2 years, if you can complete it within 2 years, then you can call your project successful. That's one of the criteria or factors to determine whether your project is successful or not. So, however, in Malaysia, as you are aware, we find it difficult to find a project that can be completed on time. Alright, there are a lot of factors. Okay, why our project cannot be completed on time. Some of them is because of you are not doing rightly during the design stage. You have a lot of problem of your design. Okay, for example, like your design is not being satisfied by the client. Sometimes the design is okay, but suddenly the client would like to make changes on the design. Okay, it could happen. Alright, so that's why it's good if you could what we call it to finalize everything at the design stage, so you can decide, for example, what construction method that you want to use, okay, whether it's conventional or IBS. Every critical decision must be decided first, okay, so that when you move towards the construction stage, you will reduce unnecessary problems. Okay, for example, like design changes and so on. Okay, so if you do changes in design, of course, your construction time will be dragged and you cannot complete your project within the stated time. Okay, so that's one of the problems. Okay, so again, you can complete your project on time if you make sure everything has been managed well. Okay, so we have to change that, because if you drag or if you extend your project, of course, it will influence the other criteria, which is the cost. Okay, so once your project delay, you will incur the cost. Okay, so in this case, in terms of cost, of course, as a client, okay, client, as I mentioned earlier, is a key player of the construction industry because they will fund money. Okay, of course, they will have idea on what they want on their project, on their building. Okay, so they want how many story and so on. At the same time, when they give the idea, of course, you as a consultant, for example, okay, you have to give what we call it as an estimate price of the project. Okay, so from there you can the client could prepare the budget. Okay, let's say they want to build a office building of 10-story office building, let's say. Okay, so the consultant say, okay, roughly or estimate cost of this 10-story office building will be 10 million, for example. Okay, so the client will request, will demand their requirements based on that budget lah. Okay, so it's good to have that particular estimated budget when you want to start your project. Okay, so that you will avoid over budget of your design and so on. So of course, sometimes it could be more. Okay, if you face a lot of circumstances, for example, like need to get approval and so on, so it will influence the price of the project as well. So, but again, so it's good. It's quite vital. It's quite critical to have that when we call it as an estimation cost. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn in this lecture 8. Okay, roughly. Alright, so I will explain more about it on the following video.